Absolutely phenomenal morning. Absolutely phenomenal morning, guys. This is your Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host, Shaan East, as always, flanked by the phenomenal Bobby Jackson. Listen, this episode will be one of those ones. One of those, like one of the ones. You might want to share this out, guys. I'm giving you an advance. I'm giving you an advanced insight. This is going to be one of the ones. Write it down. One of the ones. I was on a phenomenal training this morning. I pride myself sometimes on phenomenal trainings, right? I was on one of these phenomenal trainings this morning, and I was talking about vision casting. Most people have a forecast. I want you to think about a future cast and a fire cast. What is your future cast, and is it really penetrating? Like, does it really compel you to run first thing in the morning? Does it compel you to go a little bit insane? Let me tell you something. If people aren't calling you crazy by now, you're not doing enough. Like, you're not the person. You need to increase your activity. Increase your activity so that you can fit your goal and your vision inside your activity. That's just a prelude. We're going to go deep into this, but that's just a prelude. Bobby Jackson, how you feeling this morning, brother? How are you feeling? Because this is Monday. Monday. It's the fourth day of the last month in the first quarter. Talk about it for a minute.
Yeah, I'm feeling phenomenal. Got up early this morning, hit the gym hard. And one of the things that I enjoyed was getting in the zone, getting in the zone as we close out this quarter and we get ready to bring in the second quarter. I'm feeling like now is the moment to prove yourself to yourself. Sometimes we like to prove other people wrong. We get all worked up about all the people that said we weren't going to make it. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with taking the Frank Sinatra approach. The greatest form of revenge is massive success. But there's something else, I think, that goes even deeper. As I was thinking to myself this morning, I was like, you got to prove you right. Like, you know what you're capable of. You know what you can do. Get up there and hit it. So when we say doing the most or people calling you crazy, as I turn it over, I know we're about to go to a break. I remember my wife asking me yesterday, like, honey, I think you're doing too much. You're going to the gym like twice a day, 7 days a week. You barely sleep. I'm like, oh, I'm sleeping enough. And she's like, are you hitting it tomorrow? I'm like, you bet your bottom dollar I am. And I was up in the morning hitting it. And my back, it got in line. So I say all of that to say this: just do your absolute phenomenal best and watch the rest of your life fall into alignment.
There's slow growth and then there's scale. There's incremental growth and then there's exponential growth. What I want to talk to you about is adding a zero to you and experiencing exponential scale. Incremental growth says 1 + 1 is 2. Exponential growth says 1 + 0 is 10. Incremental growth says 2 + 2 is 4. Exponential growth says 5 + 0 is 50. Guys, listen, when you add a zero to you, you can add a zero to the marketplace. You can add a zero to the value that you bring. So you can add a zero to your family, add a zero to your legacy. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about incremental, we're talking about exponential. I always say that business is a spiritual game. Just imagine when you combine your skills, your values, your abilities, your talents to something bigger than you, something greater than you, something like the power of exponential. That is adding a zero. Add a zero to your competence, add a zero to your confidence. This is about adding a zero in your life, your value, your industry, and your mission. Let's grow. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
All right, so let's stay there for a minute, right? So I always say that you are the brand. I want to ask you a question. If you are the brand, what is the brand vision? What is the brand vision? And I'll share one with you guys. Is that all right? I mean, sometimes I get real intimate with my audience. I get real close and up close and personal, and I'm very transparent. I think I'm very transparent. I'm very honest. I'm very genuine because I really don't care what anybody thinks, right? Let me just be honest. Like I'm one of those people that have a super thick skin because of where I grew up. So I'm not concerned with people's affect towards me whatsoever. I feel impervious to assault or insult, right? So I'll just share one with you guys. I woke up this morning and I said, I feel like running. And I always do. I wake up and I hit it. But I said, I don't feel like running on the treadmill today. I said, I don't feel like going outside and hitting it on the highways and asphalt or streets or terrain or woods. I said, I feel like running on the beach. And when I say beach, I mean beach. Black sand beach. At night. Early morning. Black sand. Or glass. See-through, like platinum sand. Gold sand. Like I'm running on gold dust. It's a vision of mine. It's a real vision of mine. So I said, okay. I'm laying there in the bed and I'm opening my eyes and I said, I feel like running today, but I just don't feel like running on the treadmill today. I said, I feel like running on black sand or gold. And sometimes when the moonlight hits dark sand, it'll give you the speckle effect of gold on black sand. This is my vision. Black sand, gold dust, running, no one around, and anyone who I do see lives in the immediate area. So no visitors. So I'm talking about deeper than a gated community, guys. Private beach, private beaches, only landowners, only the rich, only the massively affluent, people who can understand and appreciate this kind of stuff. So no litter, no smells and aromas in the air. Absolutely luxurious, absolutely phenomenal. Moonlight, clear skies. You can smell the salt. You can feel the salt. You know, when you're around certain salt water, you can actually feel it in the air like your shirt will stick to you because of the condensation and the compression of the salt content in the air. It's a different kind of air. So it creates a different kind of energy in your lungs when you're running on it. Ask me how I know. I've experienced this before, but I want it to be permanent. I want to be able to wake up and run on the beach, not on the treadmill. And then I want to be able to veer off. As soon as I work up a good sweat, I want to be able to veer off to the left slightly and dive into the water. And then swim. 2 different kinds of exercises. 2 different kinds of cardiovascular. Swim out till I'm good and finished with that. I always leave enough to swim back. And then run back home, jump in the shower, and that's how I start my day. I said, okay, great. Huge vision. Now the question is, who do I have to become in order to create the reality? Because there are some, I mean, by all intents and standards, I could probably do that very soon. Very, very soon. However, when I set an intention, when I set a vision, I don't buy something unless I can buy 10 of them. Just so we're clear on my mindset. If I buy something, then I can buy 10 of them. I don't buy anything that I can't buy 10 of. So I could get one of them and go run on the beach next Monday. But I'm not in a place where I could get 10 of them yet. Just wanted to share that with you guys.
That's another level. We opened up with vision casting and versus forecasting, you know, and diving into future casting and all of these different things. So for me, mine is more business related, but I've been saying this and I've been writing it down and keeping it plain so I can move toward it. But my vision is I want to be the #1 DoD partner for transitioning veterans looking to turn their military experience into business success and financial freedom. And the reason this vision is so important to me is because I feel like there are so many heroes, so to speak, and we got to celebrate one last Saturday. If you guys didn't see that and the Saturday before, go check that out. But we, one, sometimes disrespect our heroes. 2, we don't always treat them with the just due. And then 3, the money that they get from, say, a retirement is usually a fixed income that devalues over time because it is a fixed income and it is somewhat of a pension. And it's like they gave 20 years of their best to live off of whatever is left, whatever is rest. So to me, when I think about vision casting, and I'm just trying to give you guys something to think about, something to excite you. You know, Shaan's was more luxury. What type of luxury life do you want to live? Mine is more so legacy. What type of legacy would I like to leave behind, so to speak, to say, hey, this individual was the leader or the forefront of making sure that we treated our service members with the utmost respect, that they walked away with the utmost financial abundance, and that we encourage our citizens to join the service, not to look down on it, to spend time in it, develop themselves, develop their leadership, and then come out and build businesses and be a unique asset to the economy. So that's my vision. That's what wakes me up and gets me going. It's like, because I have a son and he's like, oh, Dad, I don't know what I really want to do. And I'm like, you could go to the military, but I really don't say that to him too much because I know that he's a certain type of kid. And I want to be able to say, you know, did I do what I needed to do in order for your son to be able to say, I don't know what I want to do, to look at the military, go in and say, oh, I could do this, come out, build a business, have a family, grow this, grow that, and I can be a phenomenal leader. So that's my vision. Those are some of the things I think about. So I'm interested to see in the comment section what you guys' visions look like and how y'all are growing and scaling yourselves.
Very good. So watch this, guys. When you set a vision, that's the goal. That's the long-term goal, but your vision is a result of micro and mini goals along the way. That's kind of how you create the step forward. I think Bobby got froze over there with that vision, huge freeze, right?
Right.
Huge vision, huge freeze, guys. I want you to think, though. Think about it. How do you create that now? So when Bobby comes back, when he unfreezes, I'll be able to talk to him about how to create that vision. Put in the chat what your vision is. As we enter this first whole week of the last month of the first quarter of 2024, what is your vision? Give us just one of those, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to break that down when we get back. Again, guys, this is your Breakfast with the Brand. Let's grow. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just a very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Shaan Ride East. I'm proud. I said Shaan Ride East. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Shaan, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. All right, now we're gonna hope everything stays together while we go through this. Bobby, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can. We got storms over here. It's that time of the year here in North Carolina. So it's hurricane season.
Okay, no problem at all. So what I want people to kind of get a gist of, and I think I'm going to really give everybody a treat. I told you guys to share this out. If you didn't do it already, do it now, because what I'm about to give you guys is an expose, a brief, short, insider view into an executive coaching session. That's what I'm going to give you guys. Okay, so Bobby, restate your vision.
Absolutely. So my vision is to be the #1 partner for DODs with transitioning service members so that they can turn their military experience into business success and financial freedom.
All right. So you want your goals to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So let's work in reverse. By what time do you want this to happen, Bobby?
10 years. By year 10, I want us to be dominant.
Write that down. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed. So realistically, are people doing this now? Is this something that is possible?
It is possible, and some people are doing it, but it's very fragmented. I want us to be the #1.
Okay. So they're doing it, but not to the degree that you would like to do it.
Correct.
So now let's make it attainable. So it's realistic now, and we have a time-bound number on it. Is it possible for you? Is it attainable for you? Now. Yes? And
now,
what?
Now, like, can I do it all right now?
Yep.
No, I'm still working on some things. I'm developing some things to be able to do it fully.
Okay, so who would you have to be first? Who would you have to be? Number 2, who would you have to know in order to be able to do it? Who would you have to be? What things do you have? What components about yourself do you not have now?
I believe I would need to understand more of the retirement structure for the various branches. I know the Marine Corps, but I want to be the #1 for DOD, all of them. I need to understand Army, Navy, so on and so forth, but I don't understand those yet. I want my core function to be turning intellectual property into profitability. So I personally would like to get a law degree or potentially go down that road for intellectual property so that I am one of the best, if not the most educated in converting intellectual property that these service members are gaining over the next 20 years. So that's one. I think that would be a phenomenal asset. Not saying that's holding me back, but it's one thing that I would like to have. Other thing.
Hold on for a minute. Let's retract that. Okay, great. So who you would have to be is someone who has knowledge of all of those different divisions. How could you begin to get knowledge of all of those divisions?
Meeting an expert in each of those divisions, such as like a sergeant major or a colonel, maybe retired, and having valuable conversations with them on what retirement looks like in each of those branches.
By what time will you have met? By what time will you have set a target on those specific people and set the date for the meetings?
I believe 6 months is reasonable.
Just so everybody understands, you can't speak in generalities. Or this is what I need to do, or this is what it would look like. Okay, what would it look like when you turn it into a battle plan? So each one of your mini goals, you break those down into specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed as well. So now let's go back to it. I'm trying to give them a 3D version, right? I'm trying to give them a real 3D version of how to create your own reality and make a vision become completion. So now you've got your targets. Now you know who you need to meet. How long will it take you to find out who the right person is?
I would say 6 months, because a lot of stuff is online. So I can go and I can research who knows what, and then it's a matter of sending the emails.
Okay, so I'm going to say turn it into 6 weeks. Because if you can do it online, it won't take 6 months unless you're just waiting for some reason. I don't know why you would want to wait. If you can do it faster, then compress time and do it faster. That's the job of an executive coach. Pressure to constrict what you think is possible, to create coils and squeeze the juice out, because he can do it in 6 weeks. He might be able to do it in 6 days, but I'll give him 6 weeks, one each. 1 week hard on each piece, and then the last 2 weeks, if there's 4, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, that's fine. That's 4. Find the 4 in 4 weeks, 1 week each, and then squeeze the juice for the past 2 for those remaining 2 weeks, and set the appointments, send the emails, set the appointments. 6 weeks, guys. Bobby will come back with a report on that. Right, Bobby?
100%. This is
okay. Great. Now the law degree piece. What are the next steps you'd have to take to do that?
I would need to finish my MBA, and then I would be eligible for a JD, and I would simply need to find a school. So that would mean 6 more by June. MBA will be good. And then,
hold on. You'll be done with the MBA by June?
Not this June. I'm thinking of the next one. So for me to get the JD, next year, June, I should be able to apply for a Juris Doctor.
So research now on the ones you'll take so there's no gap in between. The problem I find with people in their completion of their goals is they put gaps in between instead of squeezing it together. So don't put any gaps, no breaks. We don't do breaks over here. We do breakthroughs over here. So find out the JD piece and dual enroll if you possibly can, or find a switch over where you can compound both of them. So you can go straight from the MBA to the JD, or be getting credits for the one while you're finishing the other one. At the very least, you'll find the most elite, most phenomenal school that will be amenable to your goals, and set up your enrollment as you're completing the other one. So it's a sweet segue.
Love it. All right, I'm writing it down, Rebecca. Thank you.
All right, guys. So we got the attainable piece. These are the steps that you need to take in order to squeeze this goal. You might be able to get it in 8. Measurable. How will you know that you're hitting the targets? And now that we have the weekly goals of knocking one out the park, next one out the park, next one out the park, and then getting these people on email so that you can move into the next phase. So this is another thing, guys. When you set long-term vision, it happens in segments or seasons. So this would be like the winter, just starting something, not really sure. Like the beginning of the year, like the first quarter of the year, you turn it into a season. So this is the winter. It has to thaw out. He got to get to germinate this. He got to get motivated, or he got to get to moving on this thing. You got to start putting the sun on the ice so it can thaw out and there can be movement taking place. When people start responding to his emails, then he'll see movement. He'll see in winter, insects go into like Kairos state. They go into a stasis lock. Some of them don't die. They just go into a frozen state. And then as the sun begins to come out and the seasons begin to change, they come back to life, kind of like a bear when it's hibernating. When you set a goal, you're not going to know how to get to it. And the quickest way to do it is just to get started yesterday. I always say done is better than perfect when perfect never gets done. So you want to accelerate the speed of activation. Eliminate procrastination. And if you feel the need to procrastinate, that means that you're not prepared. So you need someone to help you. Procrastination is an insight. That's what it is. When you feel like you don't want to get started yet, it's because you're not prepared and you know it. So now you need to find a who. Bobby has his who. When Bobby's got a goal and he don't know how to hit it, I do. 9 times out of 10, I've done it. I'm in the doctorates. I've done all the coursework. I'm in the dissertation phase. So what Bobby's trying to do, then they've done it and know exactly what needs to happen. That's why I'm confident in constricting goals. Whereas he might think it takes 6 months. I know it will take 6 weeks. And he'll still have time left over. So those are your measurable objectives. Within a week, each person that you need to speak to is identified. And then after that, 2 weeks, all contact. It's contact sport, guys. Get busy, get dirty. Like get your hands dirty in the game. Now it's measurable. And it's very specific because you already said it. Now, this is the main important part of your vision. Why that vision?
For me personally, it makes me think about how many people are not reaching their full potential, somewhat marginalized. And I think that a lot of times we don't use or give space for people to be the best that they can be. For example, if we were to look at a particular race, we may say, oh, those guys aren't able to do this. If we look at a certain sex, we may say, oh, those guys, this group shouldn't be doing that. If we look at where a certain person went to school from, we have all of these limitations that we place on people. And I think for me personally, breaking through limitations is something that wakes me up in the morning. Finding ways to maximize and leverage every opportunity that the human being has, because life to me is precious, is something that I can get behind. So to tie it all up, put a bow on top here, this is very important to me because I joined the military with no options. I joined the military homeless. I joined the military with people assuming that I wasn't going to really be anything. I graduated high school, smart, intelligent kid, but because I was homeless and working, my GPA was shot, couldn't get a scholarship. But then I joined. And when I joined, I executed at the highest level and walked away decorated. 3 Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medals and a Navy and Marine Corps Accommodation Medal. And then I built businesses while I was in the military. And then I got married in the military, raised my kids, bought my houses, and then I exited the military and decided to build a business and walk away from the workforce. So a lot of people, and I was born to a 16-year-old female, single woman at the time. And there were just all of these reasons why people thought that Bobby Jackson belonged flipping burgers and would never make anything of himself. And I think that that's ridiculous. So I'm committed to helping those that join the military with potentially limited options to walk out of there with everything they need to flip the economy on its head. And I can get behind that 24/7 every day of the week.
Very good. So I hope you guys have taken notes. I hope you see what a real vision looks like and how to reverse engineer the process to accomplish it. Now, there will be more on the back end. Me and Bobby will revisit this over and 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 over again. Accomplishment of a long-term vision is an iterative process. There is a lot of iterations. There are a lot of, it's like consistent and never-ending improvements that take place in the accomplishment of a goal. The same way we had Joel D. Smith on Saturday, and we talked about piloting and getting to the target, getting to the LZ, the landing zone. It's a consistent course correction process. There's deviation, there's standard deviation. There's deviation that is not needed. There's internal conflict, external conflict. There's internal locus of control. There's external locus of control. There's environmental factors. There's a lot of things that will take place between you now with the stating of a goal and the accomplishment of that goal. And this is why you need parameters. When I say parameters, I mean people. When I say people, I mean professionals. Your mommy means well, but she's not qualified. You understand? Like your mommy means well, but she's not qualified. I can remember my mother. She meant well when she told me that she was scared for me because the job offered me $60,000. She was scared to death. She said, Shaan, I'm scared for you. She was scared, but she was a person and she cared, but she wasn't qualified to advise me in that space as a professional. I had to take a leap and I had to take a risk. And if I didn't take the risk and didn't take the leap, if I didn't have the confidence, if I did not listen to her, if I would have taken her advice, I would have never been here to help Bobby get to his goal there. I wouldn't be here for you this morning. But because I didn't listen to those who meant well, but were not qualified, because I invested in professionals, I invested in a think tank around me until I could think for myself. And I still have a cadre of consultants who I consult with, and they are 9 and 10 figure earners because I'm trying to go from where I am to where they are. So if you're trying to go from where you are to where I am or where someone in my circle may be, then you need to make every investment possible to get there, because what happens when you hire someone like me is you turn a 6-month goal into a 6-week goal. You turn something that could be a 10-year goal into a 5-year goal. And we know how to get there. We know exactly who to speak to, exactly how to get it done, and how to constrict it, pull the air out of it, turn decades into days, and make your yearly results, monthly results, weekly results, and weekly results, daily results. We know how to break it down. It's a system of goal accomplishment and vision realization. It's not as hard. We help you turn your competence into confidence because we know what you don't. We've been on the dark side. We know where the danger lies. We know where the cliffhangers are. We know where the tripwires are. We know where the bombs are. We've been through this process before. So I know Bobby can change his degree plan, jump in another school that has a matriculation from one into the other, and he'll be getting credits while he finishes his master's degree. How do I know? I've done it. I've done it. I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like to take 2 doctorates, to become the pristine, eminent, only viable option when it comes to a certain level of evidence-based knowledge and applied scientific research, not just motivation or hype or hoopla. Not the feely good stuff. More than adrenaline. More than adrenaline, guys. More than cortisol. Evidence-based results. So I hope you've enjoyed this brief insight into what it looks like, because what I told Bobby on the front end of this meeting is exactly what I would have told him on the back end. This is The Breakfast with the Brand. We'll be right back. Let's grow. Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with the personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Shaan's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Shaan is the bomb.
I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Shaan Rais. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
All right, Bobby, now let me ask you this for the benefit of everybody watching. Having that kind of response from me and having experienced the impossible, having experienced the very impossible, like the last possible possibility over and over again consistently, stating your vision live, and then having me give you the operation battle plan that's tested and verified, how does that make you feel?
Extremely confident, because it lets me know that I'm thinking on the right train of thought. It lets me know that I can do it. You know, not that I thought I couldn't, but there's something about someone who's already done it, edifying your position and letting you know, yes, go. So it's nice. It's almost like a parent being on your bike. You can do it, but knowing that they're there just makes it a little more easy to do, so to speak. And then I think the last thing I would say here would be knowing that I have the emergency button. You know, like as I'm doing something and I'm going through it, I'm hitting it, I'm at 6 weeks, I'm crushing it, and everything's happening, and then boom, it blows up. I know that I can go to the person who gave me the plan and say, hey, this happened. And it was like, oh, okay, great. That was contingency 16. Let me help you out right here. And then boom, I can keep on going, not having to worry about it in real time. So I feel extremely confident by getting that.
Very good. Now, just to be extremely clear and as transparent as we could possibly be, as vulnerable as we could possibly be, what did you just tell me on the back end? What did you just text me on the back end?
I said, I'm fuming in a good way. I can see it. I've got 3 bases near me in driving distance.
And then after stating to me that you had 3 bases in driving distance from you, what did I tell you in return?
You can turn your 6 weeks into 3 days, out of the Zoom, into the room.
What else?
Up close and personal, get to work.
That's it. That's it. No LOL, no muscle sign, no hope you feel great, no congratulations nonsense. Get to work. Because if you're in driving distance from 3 bases, then you can find those people, or you can be given those people's names up close and personal, off the Zoom, in the room, in 3 trips, maybe in 1. Maybe in 1. And these will be people that you can meet physically. And I guarantee you that they'll have a personal investment in the accomplishment of your goals, because people don't risk their lives for nothing. They risk their lives for reasons. And when you can help your reasoning align with their reasoning, then you have someone who's going to fight for you. and for your initiative to get accomplished. They'll make the next connections if there need be any of them. And you can do all of, like, there's certain relationships, guys, that you don't want to have on the Zoom. There's certain relationships that you want to have in the room, up close and personal, man to man, eye to eye, chest to chest, as it were. And this is the kind of thing, when you want to go straight to the top, that's a relationship. That's a real relationship. And you've got the credibility, you've got the credentials, you've got the decorations. And you got the results in business. So it's not like you're not the person. You're beyond the person. You really are beyond the person, because a lot of people that are in an instructorial role, they don't have the results. They just have the research. But their research is based on reading as opposed to activating. And you've actually activated in the real volatile, hostile marketplace and gotten the results. So there's nothing stopping you at all but you, or at least there was nothing, or there is nothing stopping you now. There might have been something stopping you before this call. And thank you for being vulnerable. Like, thank you for being vulnerable and stating it and giving me the opportunity to coach you live in front of everybody. Guys, put some comments in the chat. Like, what is your thoughts? What is your experience? Like, what kind of experience did you just have witnessing what real executive coaching looks like as opposed to a motivational speech? The YouTube stuff. What differences do you notice? What are some distinctions that you notice? Because when you learn these distinctions, these key distinctions, these distillations from the real thing, then you can apply them to your goals and your visions. And kind of put your own proverbial foot on your own neck. Get out of your own way and get into the marketplace. Yes, update and clarify. Update and clarify, and find a sun to get close to so they can burn you up. Because I know Bobby feel the heat. There's no question. I know he feel the heat. Like, what's gonna happen? What's Shaan gonna say next? Right? Because now he got to get in the car. He can't do it from the comfort zone of his home. He can't do it from the comfort zone of his tablet and his keyboard. He gotta put the mouse trap away. The mouse is a trap, guys. The mouse is a trap. Sometimes you got to get off the mouse. You guys see me all the time. We go live all the time, and you see me in different places because I'm in the rooms, off the Zoom, off the comfort zone. It's easy to judge an operation from an armchair. It's very easy to judge an operation from an armchair. It's very easy to be a bystander and a participator as opposed to the person who takes the risk. You want to go from the person who's judging or postulating or having a hypothesis based on an operation and what went wrong or what didn't go wrong. So I know there was a lot of people when Bobby dropped off who saw him drop off and then saw me going to two screens. And there was probably some people like throwing little pebbles like, oh, they're really live for real. And I wonder how this is going to go. It looks like it messed up. Okay, great. It's real safe from your seat. We're the ones operating the operation. We're on the field. We fix things in real case scenarios. No matter what the risk, no matter what the outcome. If Bobby couldn't come back, I'd have been on one screen giving you the same thing I just gave him. There's a difference. There's a difference between pre-recording and live. There's a difference when we're up close and we're interacting live for you guys to see, like kind of like in the fish tank. This is not pre-recorded. This is not what people would feel safe with. This is the vulnerable place. This is the authenticity marketing place. This is where you come if you want results. Now, Bobby, let me ask you, did you feel motivated? Did you feel like you were jazzed up? Did you feel like I was talking your language and trying to blow some smoke and make you feel better while I was giving you this information?
No, I just knew it was the right information. You know, it wasn't about how you feel about it. It's about, will it work? yes, it'll work. If I show up and I get the data that I need, the contact information that I need, and I set the appointment and I show up and I close the deal, like it works. It's 1, 2, 3.
And it's based on what's worked before, right?
Right. So it's like it hurts your feelings. So what? And I'm just speaking to myself. Like I've learned to grow thicker skin, because when you're a new entrepreneur, it's like you're in love with your own ideas sometimes and your own view of yourself and what you think it should look like. But I've learned over time, it really requires objectivity. It requires you to step back and really serve. And sometimes the ego isn't the best servant. So finding someone that can come in and say, hey, that's ego, or hey, that's you're putting profit over people. And then you have to have the thick skin and the desire to truly serve to say you're right and get out of the way and get back in alignment. So I've learned that over the years.
Very good. Very good. And so he's learned that over the years, and he's also grown his business over the years. 400% revenue increase every single year, right? Those are the results. It's not about the feely stuff. I promise you. The better you feel, the worse the information you're getting is. The less, the more inflated you feel, the least amount of wisdom you're receiving. Like really, like instruction. That's just why the Bible says that instruction, they say good children loveth instruction, and they also the good parent or the good steward doesn't spare the rod. Like it's not going to be what you want it to be. Executive coaching is not have it your way. It's not Burger King. It's like you ask a question. If you're lucky enough, you get a response, but the response that you want is not what you would expect coming out of a kung fu kitchen. Where they distill this little written thing. What are they called? What are those?
Fortune cookies.
Fortune cookies. Yes, this is not fortune cookie coaching, guys. That's not what you're gonna get here. You're not gonna get a great how do you say, a generality, a general statement that would apply broad. What you're gonna get is a specific instruction to a specific problem to get a specific result. It's very specific. It's very intentional. It's very deliberate. And I love what Joe just said, because I don't care how anybody feels. I care that you get the result. That's all I care. I don't mince words. I don't think of the words I'm going to say before I say it. Just kind of try to say it in a way that's going to help you feel better while I say it. No, I don't put castor oil in peanut butter. That's not my thing. That's not what I get paid for. I get paid for truth. I get paid for truth. I don't care how it goes down. I care that you get the results you came for. That's why you're here. That's why this is your breakfast with the brand. That's why we've been successful. I've been told I'm the antithesis when it comes to motivation. I'm anti-motivational, but I'm pro-results, and I'm pro-outcomes, and I'm pro-family. Like, I want your family to be successful. I want your children's children to be successful, because you made your yearly income, monthly income, weekly income, daily, and had enough money to invest and get passive income that'll last past your work, hopefully in your lifetime. So your passive income oversees or supersedes your active income, and you can actually relax and take your foot off the brakes if you choose to, and make more money than you could have actively. We'll be talking more about that during that Ultimate Brand Challenge at the bottom. If you haven't registered for that yet, shame on you. Shame on you, because I promise you that we consistently give you more for free than you get for a fee. Anywhere, anytime, any place. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. Let's grow. When I say let's grow, that means let's grow.